Hello YouTube, this is Captain Nav. I hope you are all doing well. Here we are inbound Skiathos on the NDB approach runway 02. We just left the Skiathos VOR, adjusting the LNAV track at the moment. And we're gonna go outbound on radial 203 from Skiathos VOR. So following the LNAV path, it's adjusting the track at the moment. We can see the island down there. That's where we're gonna land, hopefully. And for the moment, yeah, we'll concentrate on the approach. We'll go outbound for 10 miles, starting to reduce the speed now. You can see the top of descent point and the decel point on the navigation display. And we need to be 185 knots at the 10 DME Skiathos VOR. So we'll take flaps 1 now and set flap 1 speed 191 knots, and we're just starting our descent now. So because the rate of descent is gonna slightly increase with the descent, then we want to get more drag, so we'll get flap 5 and set speed 180 knots. Just adjusting the heading. And hopefully by the time we get to 10 DME Skiathos VOR, or the Juliet point here on the navigation display, will be around 185 knots or less. You can see on the navigation display that we are bang on radial 203. We can see the green needle, which is representing the VOR radial we want to be on. So we are all good. The track line is bang on the VOR needle. So we are navigating with the FMC and the LNAV function, but we also use the radio navigation and the VOR and NDB in particular to back up the FMC navigation. So we kind of do it both ways. As you can see, I don't have the minima on the PFD. The minima, according to the chart, is about 1600 feet. It's actually only obstacle clearance altitude, but I guess it's minima. So the 1600 feet basically is the kind of last waypoint on the approach, is coded as 1600 feet. So I guess from that point on, you need to be able to see the runway environment and be able to continue the approach visually, which is quite far out. 1600 feet will be about 5 miles out. So it's an NDB approach, instrument approach, but then you need to continue the approach visually. And as you can see, the approach is kind of offset, so you kind of need to do some visual maneuvering at the end. Anyway, we're just about to establish on the inbound track 008. The LNAV is slowly adjusting the track. We set 1600 feet, which is the minima, and we'll have to actually reset this to 500 feet. But in the meantime, we'll take the gear down, go flaps 15, match the speed, arm the speed brake, and we've got star switch is continuous, recall is checked, speed brake armed, green light, landing gear down 3 greens, auto brake 3. We are holding at flaps. We'll go flap 25, set 500 feet for visual approach. That's just minima we use for visual approaches, 500 feet. Now we'll go flap 40 and set the final approach speed 146. Display the FPV to get an indication once we are visual of the descent angle of the aircraft. We want to maintain about 3 degrees. And now we pass the last waypoint on the approach, so we can set the missed approach altitude 4000 feet. And flaps 40 green light, we are clear to land. So landing checklist complete. So we'll disconnect the autopilot. Now we are bang on the inbound track 008. The auto throttle comes off as well. Flight directors both off. And then the captain's back on. We'll set the runway heading 014, and we are all good now to take the aircraft manually and maneuver for this last visual segment. So you can see there's approximately about 8-degree offset, so we need to kind of bring the aircraft round over the bay and try to align the aircraft with the runway. It's a fairly spectacular approach, landing at the last moment after this approach over the sea, so it's almost like aircraft carrier landing, a bit like St. Martin. So just adjusting the runway center line there, trying to align the aircraft. We've got 2 whites, 2 reds. The puppy is not very well calibrated there, so at the end we'll get about 3 whites, but it doesn't really matter as long as we cross the runway threshold at 50 feet. We're good. But the speed is good. The aircraft is on the center line. Just slight adjustments, and that's looking very good. So at 50 feet we cross the threshold. Flare, close the thrust levers and touch down. Bring the reversers, let the auto brakes do their work. Maintain the center line and nicely decelerating there. It's a fairly short runway, I think it's just over 1600 meters, so you can't afford to float or land with a light auto brake setting, for example, or flaps 30. You need to use flaps 40 and at least auto brake 3, above all at relatively heavy weights. So that's it. Here we are in Skiathos. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more similar content, please subscribe. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon.